Did you seek any kind of treatment, any kind of psychological help, behavioral help?
Yes, I did. I saw a woman psychiatrist, and she said I was OCD, one cool dude, and she understands the way I think right now, and everything's cool, everything's copacetic, everybody's happy, and I'm happy too, because I'm happy about what I'm going to do right now. Check it out.
Hey everyone, we're back. Another episode of Things Will Be Different. Today we're going to be talking about the pursuit of happiness. And we have the one and only Rose back on. So pretty much we're going to be talking about the pursuit of happiness in its form, pursuit of happiness. What is it? What is happiness? Are we truly happy, or are we just content? So we're just going to be diving in on y'all's mental and what you consider is happy, what you consider yourself to be happy, and we'll go from there. So, before we get started, I did a little bit of research on, I don't know if you guys heard of, I don't want to butcher his name, but it's Sadhguru. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but he says happiness does not only come from achievement. When you were a child, you were simply happy. That is your nature. If you go against your own nature to be happy, you will never get anywhere. To be happy is not the ultimate aspect of life. It is the fundamental aspect of life. If you are not happy, what else can you do with your life? Only if you are happy can other great responsibilities arise in your life. Bear with me, it's a lengthy read. The first and foremost fundamental responsibility for a human being is to become a joyous being. It does not matter what you are pursuing in your life, whether it's business, power, education, or service. You are doing so because somewhere deep inside you is a feeling that this will bring you happiness. Every single action that we perform on this planet springs from an aspiration to be happy because it is the original nature. Today we are seeking happiness so vigorously that the very life of the planet is being threatened. All those people who depend on external situations to be happy will never know true joy in their lives. What do you think about that?
Well, they don't call him Sadhguru for nothing. No, I'm just kidding.
Do
Or
you
whatever,
guys
however you say his name.
honestly believe that there is an end state, an ultimate form of being happy? Like once you've reached it, you're at your pinnacle, and there is just absolute happiness from here on out once you've achieved it.
So part of me wants to say yes, and another part of me wants to say no.
Okay. Why?
Um, I think, well, kind of like he was saying that, like achievements or material things, it only causes like temporary happiness. Like true happiness comes from within, you know.
Yeah.
But if that's something that I think it is something that is achievable, or like an end state, if it's something that you really work on and focus on and make it a priority. Um, and a lot of it, I think, has to do with like how you perceive things and how you think. And yeah, I mean, also, I think, chemicals can have like something to do with it, like just the way your body is, genetics, all that other stuff. Like those things do affect your emotions, which happiness is considered an emotion, or a state of being, as some people say too. But
So that dopamine action. My son, Ali, what you got for me?
Yeah, picking up from where Rose left, I consider happiness a state of mind. So, yes, doing certain things can make you happy, but that doesn't mean you're truly happy. So, picking up from that was Sadhguru, what you mentioned about Sadhguru, like you have to be happy first before you go out and achieve things. I feel like he's coming from the feeling of like, satisfied first, because if you're not like internally satisfied, if you're not internally like happy, no matter what you're doing, inside your head there's gonna be that voice like, ah, it's not enough. I'm not happy. You can have the world in front of you. You can have access to any and everything, but if that's not what you want, or if that's not what your happiness, if that's not what your true state of mind is, you're not gonna be,
Yeah.
enjoying the day, enjoying the moment, enjoying the life. You're not gonna be there, you know.
Yeah. I got you. So let me ask you all this. What do you think true happiness looks like, or what do you think it is?
Um, I mean, I know like the definitions that I've seen.
But what does Rose or Rosé consider to be like to be truly happy with yourself or with anything? What do you think that is for you?
I would say that it would be content with like kind of where you are in your life or with the things that you have. Um, kind of, I mean, I think it kind of boils down to like just being grateful for like simple things,
Okay.
or I don't know. I think it's a lot deeper than that, but yeah.
Okay. Ali, what does
Um,
true happiness mean to Ali? What makes Ali the happiest man in the world?
I'm still trying to figure that out. I tell you
Okay.
right now, like, there's moments of it here and there, but just kind of going off, just to state it, I feel like it's just like an immersive feeling of like, uh, feeling good, like everything is good, everything is fulfilled, all my obligations are fulfilled, everything that I'm supposed to do is done. It's a satisfying feeling, and it's a content state of mind where my heart and mind is like truly at rest. I'm not like being paranoid or okay, not thinking about what's the next move, what's the next um day is gonna bring. I feel like that's what is happiness, but I'm still trying to figure that out. I don't think I like really ever felt like okay, this is it. I'm truly happy in this moment.
Okay.
Mm.
That both are really good insights on what you think happiness is, which is good because everybody has their own definition.
Mhm.
For me, uh I think the word happiness is extremely malleable, right? And I think it's situationally based, right? Like I think happiness is happenstance. Like I think as human beings we're on a journey, no matter like how you look at it. I think with every person's journey, and I'm going against not completely 100% what Sadhguru says. I believe there are some people out there that are just fucking that are happy. You could shit in their fucking Cheerios and they'll be, well, there's shit. I got a whole nother box of Cheerios left. It's not going to bother me, right? But I think just even on our journey, there's going to be tragedy. There's going to be sadness. There's going to be events that spark whatever emotion that you have. And at the end of the day, you're truly not going to be happy consistently for the rest of your life. So I think happiness is situationally based. And I think it's, it's something we shouldn't be actually trying to achieve like true 100% happiness because you're just going to be wasting your fucking time because life happens and bad shit happens to good people and bad shit happens to bad people too. But I think you could take the happiest person in the world and I guarantee you something somewhere will make them unhappy at least once in their life. So with that, you guys familiar with Jordan Peterson?
Mhm.
Okay. So let me tell you what this man said about happiness. All right. I love Jordan Peterson. He's like one of my favorite people on this planet. Cause he's just fucking smart and he knows the human brain and psychological shit than more than I would. But anyways, he says happiness is a pointless goal. don't compare yourself with other people. Compare yourself with who you were yesterday. No one gets away with anything, ever. So take responsibility for your own life. You conjure your own world, not only metaphorically, but also literally and neurologically. These lessons are what the great stories and myths have been telling us since civilization began. So he's pretty much saying, don't chase happiness because it's pointless. You have to take everything as it comes. And at least that's what I'm taking from it. Like, you have to be better than who you were yesterday. So just use what you've learned along your journey to be a better form of yourself than you were yesterday. What are your thoughts?
I agree with him, but I also think that what tends to happen is that we kind of have a misperception about like what happiness actually is or how to achieve it. I mean, because you could, I mean, let me think how I'm going to say this. So, for example, I understand like things are going to be bad, things happen in your life. But I think it really depends on like your mindset and your thoughts. Your ability to feel emotion, I understand that. And like, I'm not saying don't be sad and you can't feel sad because those things happen and you will, and you have to go through those things, but it's only temporary. Like, I think that a lot of times people will tend to tie happiness to like kind of what we talked about earlier, like an achievement. Well, if I make this much money, then I'll be happy. Or if I um, lose weight, then I'll be happy. Or if I get this boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever, and then I'll be happy. So they're always like trying to seek either validation or trying to seek some external source rather than like kind of working things through the inside out sort of
Mm-hmm.
thing. And, kind of what he was talking about, just taking things as they come. Like, I think like things happen, right? Life happens and it sucks and you go through whatever, but I think usually overall, if you have, I don't know if I don't know if I'm explaining this right.
No, you're doing good. You're doing good. You're doing good.
I don't know. So, this is tough.
It's hard, right? Like, so from my understanding, what I was taken away from what you were saying, you're pretty much saying the same thing I am, but not, because happiness is temporary too, right? Like, anger is temporary. Sadness is temporary. You're never going to be consistently or permanently happy with any situation that you're in, right? You can say that you like this relationship, this weight loss, everything, any of that will probably make you happy. And where you were saying, yes, things do happen, but that just means happiness is temporary too. It'll come back, but it's never consistent.
Yeah, I'd say yeah, that's pretty true.
Ali. Oh, he's on the phone. So he's always on the phone, man. This man's just fucking. But yes, he also said it's all very well to think the meaning of life is happiness, but what happens when you're unhappy? Happiness is a great side effect. When it comes, accept it gratefully, but it's fleeting and unpredictable. It's not something to aim at because it's not an aim. And if happiness is the purpose of life, what happens when you're unhappy? Then you're a failure, and perhaps a suicidal failure. Happiness is like cotton candy. It's just not going to do the job. So here's a perspective, right? When somebody says, "Oh, the grass ain't always greener," right? You could take that for what it is and be like, "Yeah, that is very fucking true. The grass may not be greener, but It just depends on how you water it, right? And how frequently you water it. You could change that aspect. You can, like, I can use my example from leaving this job that I didn't want to be in anymore to go to a job that I wanted to be a little bit more happier than what I was in my old job, right? And somebody told me, the grass may not always be greener over there. And I was like, well, you know what? I told them the same shit. I was like, well, it depends on how I water it, right? Like I can be completely unhappy there, but I'm in my element and I just got to use what I know to make that grass a little greener for myself. I did that at the hospital, but goddamn, I had some pests in that grass that were just absolutely Ollie. No, I'm just kidding. That were just absolutely just shitting on my grass. So I had to jump ship. But right. So with that, all that being said is I think that's a good comparison to how you can look at things, right? Where the grass isn't always greener, but it just depends on how you water it. Mr. Telephone Man, what you got?
Um, so picking up from that exact phrase you said, right? Grass isn't always greener, but it depends on how you water it. Like happiness is a choice, right? You can choose to be happy and you can choose to be sad. Like so there's so many things that is going on right now, like, on a daily basis, in and out, taking over the new position. But again, I it's like if you let them affect you, they'll make you sad. Everybody's going through some stuff, everybody's going through some bad things or negative things that can bring them down. But it's a choice, right? You can choose to focus on what you can control, what you can't control. So I heard a phrase that says like, hey, if you can control it, why are you worrying about it? Why are you letting it bring you down? And if you cannot control it, it's out of your control. Again, why are you worrying about it? Why are you like letting it bring you down? You can't control it. Just let it happen, whatever happens.
Yeah.
So, and I try to like, implement that in every day, every time something comes up and it's like, oh, this is draining. I try to like see it that way. And I 100% agree with the statement that, Jordan Peterson made about happiness. Like, don't compare like others with yours. Just compare yourself from what you were yesterday and where you're going, because everybody's in a, different journey, different path, doing so many different things, experiencing different things, different ways. So for somebody like, going to like a hotel and just booking like a $200 room might be like best thing ever. And then for somebody going to like a hotel and booking like a 2000 room is like still not enough. Like, oh, I'm still missing this. I don't have like a TV in here, or something. I don't have cable in here or something. So again, that applies there, right? So
First world
I
problems.
I,
Oh
I
man.
agree with that.
That's funny you bring that up, Ollie. That's funny. So a little backstory on that is completely off subject, but we were talking about taking a trip to Dubai next year sometime. And me and Kendrick were looking at hotel prices in Dubai, and we were like, fuck yeah, there was like hotel rooms for like I think it was like $180 like a day or some shit. It was just they were nice hotels. And we were like, fuck yeah, we can do this. Like, doesn't matter. Ali didn't even know that was a thing. Like, he was like, there's hotels for that much. He didn't know that us common folk here don't spend outrageous amounts of money on hotels. But anyways, back on track. So would you guys consider yourselves truly happy in this present moment? Present day Rosé and present day Ollie, are you guys really truly happy with your lives in this moment?
I think overall, yes. I also think that like I won't say it's like a journey, but it's kind of like it's a like kind of like Ali said, it's a choice. It's like, and not only is it a choice, it's how you think
Okay.
ultimately. So like for example, if something bad happens in my life, let's say for example, I don't know, I stubbed my toe. Um,
All right. All right.
I don't know. Let's say, for example, I stub my toe. I may like be in pain and upset at the moment, but like I'm that doesn't change like I guess like my overall happiness. Like, but then it also boils back to like what are my thoughts in that moment? I'm like, everything always bad is happening to me. Like, why is it, maybe I've always have bad luck, you know what I mean? Like, or like that really sucked, but luckily my toe didn't break. Like
Oh,
I
this is
can
the
still
10th
walk.
toe.
Yay.
This is the 10th toe this week, and it's only Tuesday.
Why? No.
What?
I mean, that's a terrible example, but like it's really like what is your mind thinking in a moment that could affect your happiness or overall happiness, I would say.
So, would you say that there's like, I guess, kind of phases to happiness, right? There's
Mhm.
like situational happiness, and then there's, I'm not going to let this shit on my day, but I'm going to sit back, take a couple of breaths, and get back on track. Like for instance, like you say, stubbing your toe. Uh, I think there's peak happiness, and then there's the levels and the stages to peak happiness, but there's like stub my toe anger. There's why is everything always happening to me? But you have your peak happiness to refer back to kind of balance yourself out.
I wouldn't even call it a peak happiness. I would say just like it's not a peak, but like just a low state of happiness. That doesn't sound terrible. Like, I don't know, a valley of happiness. So, but like, because I would say, like, generally speaking, you can be content in the moment or whatever, and then like something could happen to where like I don't know, you see a butterfly, you're like, oh wow, that's cool. Nature is so awesome, and like that just peaks up your happiness, right?
Yeah,
But yeah, I don't know.
it's complicated. Ali,
It is.
are you happy, bro? Are you truly happy?
No, I'm not even close, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
Because you see, like I said, like in the beginning, happiness is like state of mind, it's a choice, it's a mercy feeling, this, that.
Yeah.
I'm never in the state of mind where I'm at rest or where I feel like satisfied or fulfilled. I'm in this constant chase, whether it is more income or more ways to bring in, more income, whether it is like more fitness, more this, more that. Like I'm in a constant chase of okay, always hitting that next level, and it's never like a break to it or an end to it. I feel like ever since I started like on this journey of like, okay, I need to like turn my world around and become financially free or whatnot.
Yeah.
I never looked at things the same. It's always a constant chase. There are moments of it, here and there where I'm like, dang, I have access to these things. Nice. It makes me like feel happy, but
Yeah.
again, it's just, blips of it. It's not like a whole wow for a day or two. Nah, it's just blips of it here and there.
All
Dang.
right. All right. Hold on, real quick. So what you're
Mhm.
saying is what Sadhguru says is all those people who depend on external situations to be happy, you will never know true joy in their lives.
Mhm.
So that's you. You're
Yeah,
relying on external situations to be happy.
most definitely. I feel like, because you see, like, I took this trip and I was like able to get onto this yacht on a party, and like I had to pay like 25 grand for a day. And I was like, dang, I'm able to get to this. I have access to this, to these resources, this, that. And I was like, dang, this nice. It makes me like, I was like that. And then the night ended. The next morning, I'm like back to like, okay, what's the market doing today? Where are we at?
Okay.
Back in the chase.
Okay. So before we go on
Mhm.
because I want to go back to what you just said. Um, I'm going to tee off on this one too, as far as me being truly happy. I'm not in a sense where I'm waiting on some situational thing to make me happy. I'm pretty content with where I am. I mean, shit's going pretty fucking okay for me right now. Uh, I got my son living with me. I left the hospital and I'm just not satisfied right now. I am okay with how things are. I'm just not satisfied. Meaning, uh, I think I still need to refine who I am as a human being in order to appreciate the better things in life, right? Because there's still those stressors in my life that fucking, like, I could have 10 great things happen to me, and then one thing that will just fucking bring me 18 levels down. I think that's just something I need to manage because I have an overwhelming, like, sense of if I fail at something, it's just going to absolutely destroy the current mood I'm in. But yeah, I would say I'm content. I'm not happy. I don't think I'll ever be happy, to be honest with you. I'm just never satisfied with how things are. I'm always chasing shit. I'm always chasing shit. And every time I fucking fail, I'm like, oh, goddamn. I over evaluate myself. I'm like playing my mistakes on constant loop. And I'm like, fuck, I got to stop doing that. I just got to take that situation for what it is and just move on from it. But somehow my fucking mental it's something else. But going back to what you were saying, Ali, so do you think money can buy happiness?
Absolutely.
Okay, and why?
Why?
Yeah.
Because you see, like, I get, okay, in simple terms, right? Okay, all right, let me rephrase that. When I said absolutely, okay, right? It can buy happiness, right? It makes it harder for you to be sad. It gets you access to those things that makes you happy, you know? Like,
Okay.
if I'm like, okay, I want to take a beach trip, but I don't want to just go to Ocean City. I want to go to, like, I want to go to Italy, or I want to go to Croatia. I'll be able to do that because of the resources I have and connections I have. Okay, cool. I can just get up and go. I don't have to worry about, like, fly, TSA pre-check, this, that, worry about hotel, what am I going to take there? Like, being able to have those access, being able to do those things whenever you want, however you want,
Yeah.
makes me happy. Like, dang, I was able to achieve this. Like, 4 years ago, if you told me that, like, oh, what? No, I can't even afford to go to Ocean City. What are you talking about? So,
So you you're saying that money can buy you happiness
most
specifically.
definitely. Yeah, most definitely. It's like, it makes it very hard for you to be sad,
Okay.
because you can buy the things that makes you happy.
Okay. All right. So I was watching this, what was this? It was a podcast the other
Mhm.
day, and I can't remember what dude's name. He's like a famous real estate guy. And he was talking about he's seen like millionaires that were absolutely fucking miserable, but he's also known people that make 70, 80K a year and they're the happiest sons of bitches in the world, right?
Mhm.
Why do you think that is?
I feel like, I mean, I've seen, like, a lot of people, like, who are well ahead in life, right? And they're not really, like, content or happy, right?
Yeah.
I feel like it's because it's a constant chase. Once you get into that echelon, there's always, like, a bigger thing you see. Because you see, like, um, it's like buying a car, right? Oh, I'm walking. I would love to have a bicycle. Once you have a bicycle, you're like, dang, that dude got a car. I would love to have a car. Once you get into, like, this money making, money chasing, it becomes a competition. You get around people who have more than you, who are way up there than you. And some people like me, who like to see other people and get all competitive and whatnot, compare themselves, like, oh, why is he there and I'm not there? And they just get into this chase, like this never ending chase.
Uh-huh.
You just never content. And then there's some people who just don't know how to manage it. Like you get all this money, but you don't know, like, because to me, okay, you need all of these things to be happy, right? You need money and resources, right? And you need people to spend it with. You need time to spend it, and then you need energy, right? So,
I fucking hate this light. Uh-huh.
so most of the people I notice are missing like one or the other. They have the money, but they don't have the people or the time. Some people have the money and the time, but they don't have the people or the energy. Some people have the energy, time, but they don't have the people, money, but they have the people. So vice versa, whatever, right?
Yeah.
That's what I've seen. I mean, I've seen a lot of people like, who like automate their stuff, have a couple mil, and they're well off. And I've seen some people who make like, 80, 100K. They always just, they've been in the same place for the past 10 years and not moving nowhere. And they just, every single day, same thing. They cry about the same thing. Oh, life sucks, life's this, life's that.
Yeah.
So it's just different, perspectives.
Okay. Rose,
Yeah,
do you think money can buy happiness?
better be on my side.
I think, I mean, yes, but also I think it really boils down to your mindset. So you can have, like, if your mind's not right and you are always chasing or always seeking or always trying to fill a vice or always like seeking out these pleasures, you can spend all your money on it, but will you like be truly happy? Yeah, maybe in that moment for that second or whatever. Um, but it would only be temporary, right? And that's not like 100% absolute, but I know a lot of people that don't have money and they're like the happiest people that I know. I mean, I've met people that live in, kind of comparing to America, they live in like slum villages or like houses made out of clay, and they are so content and happy because they don't have this like need or chase for instant gratification or the newest iPhone or whatever the case is that, a lot of people in America are so like chasing after, or we have to compete or whatever the case may be. I
Yeah.
mean, so it can, if you are in the right mental state.
Yeah, money could definitely kickstart your happiness, I will say, right? Like if you're hungry, if you have ambitions, if there's things that you want to purchase with said money that would give you your dopamine fix and you're just all about it and all this other shit, cool. I agree to a certain extent. But I would also argue that there are people, like you said, that uh, live in fucking huts, came from nothing, and they can appreciate, uh, I could say the shittier things about life. And that means I'm not taking any shots at you, Ollie, by any stretch, but this is like, these are the people that can appreciate having that bike that they ride to work, having that family connection that they have every day. They go work at a fucking butcher shop every day of the week and still be happy to go home and bring whatever scraps they can bring home to their family and be happy that they're able to provide for their family. And I think shit, you could take, what's his name? Salt Bay, for example, right? Dude fucking came from nothing. This dude had to drop out of high school because his family couldn't afford his education. And this dude had nothing, like nothing. He had an apprenticeship at a butcher shop. He was doing like grunt work and all this other shit, but he learned how to butcher meat. And then this dude saved up enough money to travel the world to go learn from people who can cook like the perfect steaks, the perfect beef. And he did that on his own dime. He went and worked on farms for free. He went to go work at all this other shit for free. And he finally had the wherewithal to open and run his own restaurant. And this dude's worth over $70 million right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I could say like this guy coming from nothing, absolutely fucking nothing, to being worth over 70 mil. I think those are the things you can look at to where I think he's pretty much everything that he has now. He's not taking for granted, right? Like he's happy because all his hard work and all that shit paid off, and he's where he wants to be. But all those other little shits that he has that he didn't have before that he has now, I'm sure he's just like, oh, that's cool. Like, enhance. You know what I mean?
The only thing I would add on to that, and just something for like maybe you to think about, is that like through all of that, everything that he did or had to do, whether it was working at a farm for free or whatever the case is, like he had an inherent risk of failure,
Mm-hmm.
right? But
Oh, yeah.
he kept pushing and he kept trying and he failed, I'm sure, many a times and got his doors slammed in his face. I'm just assuming, I don't know, but that normally happens with people who end up like successful because they do like put it all on the line to chase their dreams, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
whatever that is. But like it kind of boils back to like failure is inevitable. So if you are afraid of doing something that could potentially bring you happiness, or you know, achieving a dream because you're afraid you might fail, like the only person that you're really stopping is yourself.
Absolutely.
Mm.
Why do you think we're here at Things Will Be Different? Because we're gonna see. You know what I mean? Yeah, no, that's true. Like you have to understand the risk of failure in every aspect of your life. And that also will play on your happiness and whether or not you can overcome those failures and whether or not you could pick yourself back up, and you're always evolving and you're always learning. I think that's key when it comes to, I guess, pursuing your ultimate happiness, whatever that may be. But I do think honestly money can buy some sort of happiness, right? Like if I wake up tomorrow and somebody's like, yo, we want to buy this show for like $90 million, right?
$90 million.
Dollars. I'm like, of course there's gonna be like, I'm like, oh shit, what am I gonna do with all this money? You know what I mean? There's gonna be some things I'm gonna want to experience, the finer things in life that I haven't experienced yet in my entire life. And will that make me happy? Absolutely. But to what extent though, right? To what extent? Like you could have all the money in the world, but I don't think you'll ever be 100% happy with anything. I wonder if Jeff Bezos is 100% happy. I wonder if Elon Musk is 100% happy. I know for a fact that Elon Musk is not 100% happy, and this dude's one of the richest men in the world. You know what I mean? I think it's all perspective, and I think it's all how you handle shit, how you carry yourself. And I think that's what it ultimately boils down to. You could be a miserable fucking schmuck your entire life, and that's your problem, right? Just don't bring other fucking people down with you. But at the same time, like, you have to be self-aware of your actions and who you are as a person, how you affect other people around you. That's just my 2 cents, right?
Man, that's deep. That's deep.
Nah, bruh.
I'm giving away everything. Charity.
Huh?
I'm gonna
You're
give
giving
away
it?
everything. Charity.
Well, lucky for you, I just started a nonprofit. So, I mean, hey, but
I got something. So, did you guys know that there's different types of happiness?
no.
All right, so hear me out. So, there is 5 different type of happiness: joy, excitement, gratitude, pride, optimism. Never mind, there's 7: contentment and love.
Can you repeat those again?
All right, joy, excitement, gratitude, pride, optimism, contentment, and love. So, which
Okay.
one is more important to you and why?
Holy fuck.
Whoa, whoa.
Rose, you want to go first?
No, go, no, go. No, just
Okay.
kidding.
I'll go first. honestly, to me, I think love is, and this is going to sound completely cheesy, but I think love is the most important thing, because what can you honestly, what can you honestly achieve without it? You know what I mean? Like, there's kids that have grown up in this world without the love of their mother, without the love of their father, right? That's like your initial like gateway to just being happy, is the love that your parents have to provide for you, right? And then who do you want to celebrate your successes with? Those that you love, right? What makes you happy when you're in a relationship, when you fall in love with somebody? It's that love that you have for them, that willingness to do anything for them, right? You can't be content in love with someone, right? You can't be, what were the other six?
Joy, excitement, gratitude,
Right.
pride,
You can be joyous. Like love brings you joy. Love brings you gratitude. Love
ex
brings you excitement. Like,
pride.
I think that's the foundation to all of that, is you can't, I'm pretty sure you can be any of those, but I think love has a huge role to play in all that. So I would say that love is the most important to me out of those seven.
Nice.
Oh, I gotta think. He said joy.
All
So many. This is too many.
right.
Joy, contentment.
All right, here I'll repeat it again. Joy, excitement,
Excitement,
gratitude,
gratitude.
pride, optimism, contentment, and love.
And which one do I think is the most important?
Yeah.
Um, I would probably have to agree with love as well, I think. All you need is love. No, I'm just kidding.
There you go. I was actually getting ready to sing that.
Um, yeah, I'll go with that one. Because yeah, I think like we innately as humans like that like w like want to feel loved, um, or be loved, or whatever. Uh, how does that tie into happiness though? I guess when you feel, but that's the thing, like when you feel loved, you feel happy. But like, what if you don't feel loved?
Then you're unhappy.
But does that make it the most important level of happiness
I
or
think it's
type of
I,
happiness?
I think it's a starter. You
Mm.
can boil it back to, like I said earlier, with the kid growing up without the love of, like, the actual love of their mother and father. Granted, I mean, there's probably a million different scenarios you can get after about that, right? But like, kids really don't know what love is until they,
All right. Hear this out. I think this gonna tie in what you were talking about, Miss Rose. Love and happiness are sometimes said to be interchangeable. That love is an infinite source of happiness, and happiness itself is a form of love. However you look at it, both are vital to have in your life.
Hmm.
oh wow, that's good. Damn, Ali's dropping some bombs on us today, boy.
Well,
Yeah.
so going back, I think I might change my answer. I almost wanted to say gratitude.
Hmm.
Um, and the reason why is that I think sometimes just being grateful for what you do have and not always what you didn't have or didn't get, or, maybe you didn't have a present dad, or you didn't have the mom like cheering you on, or whatever the case is, like being grateful that, like, I don't know, something simple like you're alive, or that you have friends, or I mean they kind of filter into those other things, and can cause those other things. I don't know. I'm just thinking through my thoughts right now. It's a hot mess up there.
So gratitude.
Mm.
I don't know.
It's a
Can I
tough
pick
one.
two? Can I pick two?
Yeah, absolutely.
I say love and gratitude.
It's a good list. It really does make you think like heavily on all seven of those fucking things. Ollie, what do you think's the most important to you?
All right, optimism.
Okay.
Okay, you wanna hear this
Uh,
out why?
I absolutely do.
All right. So being optimist, right? I was thinking why optimism? Like when I read it, like first thing that struck to me was optimism. Yeah, that is it. Like this is it. This is me. And when I was like reading the article and here it says like optimists tend to focus on possibilities and have a combination of gratitude and pride. They're grateful for all the possibilities life presents,
Grateful.
proud of their abilities to harness these resources,
Oh, good.
and have a
Uh-huh.
strong belief in themselves and their ability to make their attempts at whatever goals they pursue success.
Mm-hmm.
Optimists, when faced with disappointment, tend to minimize it, pinpoint how they can do better next time, and mitigate factors which lead to their negative outcomes. And when they succeed, they give themselves credit, take a sign of better things to come, and it's just their whole overall way of being. So, not so much like what you call it, where we work together, I'm as optimistic, but in my like own little journey, like I feel like I'm very optimistic. Like anytime I'm pursuing something, I see like, hey, like just imagine the possibilities. We can do so much with this idea. We can do so much with these things. I come up with like ideas here and there, and I'm just like, okay, this is it. We can do so much with this. Move these into like, I stand with a brick and think of a whole house that you can just build with it if I just
Yeah.
collect enough of these. And every time like the bricks fall down, I'm like, at least I have the bricks. I'm on my way to build a house. Most people don't even have the bricks, so at least I have the bricks, and I just keep start building it back up. You know?
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. I like that. I like
yeah.
that.
I thought of like, the other ones. I really tried. I was like, love should be the most important one. I'm pretty sure this should be the most important one, but I was like, I just didn't like feel like it because again, tying back to what Rico was saying, when you're like young, your parents being there, that's the first love you felt. Yeah, I kind of missed out on that. So I never was really like, oh, this is love. This is what it is. Like I just grew up and it was always like, you know, competition, getting better than the other guy, always being compared to other, kids, cousins and whatnot. So I think that's just kind of the way it was said in me. And optimism is like my favorite type of love, I mean happiness.
I uh I hear you on that one. But I would say love can be the foundation because you never mentioned a foundation. You mentioned bricks and you've never
Mm.
had that foundation like I have, I guess, because you could call me a mama's boy or whatever you want to call it, but the way my mom shows love is just it's fucking astronomical, man. Like I learned how I'm still an asshole, don't get me wrong. But like I it's just I just looking at my mom and just thinking about everything she's done for me and all the shit that I put her through and just seeing that woman love and she by definition like I could say like who is your number one fucking like human display of unconditional love, it's that fucking woman right there. Like that and that has been like the foundation for like her, how she acts, how she just shows her love for everybody. That has been like my foundation on how I want to move forward in my life. But there's always that asterisk, right? Like I want to be like her and loving like her, but fucking this world creates savages, bro. And I don't have time for that shit. So that's where the asshole side comes out of me. But that foundation is there for that love and
Uh,
those and that optimism you were saying. I would say I would agree with you. Those are my bricks.
uh,
And fuck, dude, that was deep, bro. That was fucking
mhm.
deep. I like that.
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah.
Dang, look at Ali dropping some nuggets of wisdom.
Hmm.
Would you say you're grateful for your mom's love? Just kidding.
I am grateful for my mom's love. I am.
No, I don't think you can pick a wrong answer, to be honest. I think some way or another, like you'd be able to pick it and dissect it and explain it, of the type of happiness or like the sources of happiness rather, like the different ways you could achieve happiness. But kind of going back to what I said in the beginning, or I guess something to think about is like happiness is a state of mind. Um, so if your thoughts are telling you something that, you can't be happy or not be happy, you don't deserve to be happy because of this. You don't deserve to be happy because, you didn't receive love the way you're supposed to, or the way that Hollywood puts it on, or, because you failed at this relationship, or you failed at this job, or you did this or that, or whatever. Like, if you are having those thoughts, like that kind of stunts you from being able to achieve happiness. And with that, one thing I learned in a resiliency class was they talked
Nerd.
about
Hey,
but it's so
MRT.
true.
MRT
Even like the
works.
Science of Happiness podcast, which is great, it also talks about like negativity bias. Are y'all familiar?
Yes.
Are you familiar
But
with that, Ali?
You said what?
A
Give me
negativity
one
negativity
second.
bias?
bias.
Mm, yeah, a little bit. A little bit. I didn't really like, what do you call it, hear
Go
it
ahead.
or
Go
talk
ahead and
about it.
fill us in, Rose.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, let me pull it up. So it's a psychological phenomenon. This psychological words are hard. Phenomena explains why bad first impressions can be so difficult to overcome and why past traumas have such long lingering effects. In almost any interaction, we are more likely to notice negative things and later remember them more vividly. As humans, we tend to remember traumatic experiences better than positive ones, recall insults better than praise, react more strongly to negative stimuli, think about negative things more frequently than positive ones, respond more strongly to negative events than to equally positive ones. Um, I mean, it talks a little bit more about it, but like if you like, it's almost like you have to choose kind of what we're talking about, choose happy, choose to be optimistic in a situation when something bad happens. You can choose to think, like this always happens to me, this, whatever. And that kind of like the exercises, I know y'all know, like hunt the good stuff and finding the grateful things, you know what I mean? Like things that to be happy about, like doing those mental exercises can help you achieve happiness, like in the overarching picture of things. I don't know.
Yeah, I I agree. But it's hard. I mean, for me, I'm not an optimist, and I think Ali can agree with me when I don't have optimism, right? I'm very situational based. Like I'm always preparing for the worst shit to happen, so that way I have a response to it, right? So like if I go through like my mental drills, if I try to sit there and be like, well, this was a good thing that happened today, I'll find like 10 things to pick apart about that one good thing that happened, regardless of how good it was. And I'll try to fucking figure out how to make it better the next time. Like, I wish I had that capability to be like, oh man, I didn't stub my toe today. Fuck yeah. Win. I'll start thinking about like how I can improve my walk path to the restroom a million times over. So I'll never have to recreate that moment in my life ever again. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's just how I am. That's how I'm programmed. I'm a weirdo. I'm not proud of it. Anyways,
Dang.
um, fuck, I had a thought in my head. Um, so I think that's like when we talk about the pursuit of happiness,
Mhm.
I honestly think that there's really no end state to that. It's always going to be a pursuit.
Yeah.
Right? Like, where did the movie with Will Smith and Jaden Smith, right? There was an end state to his happiness, right? Like he
Yeah.
was a miserable, miserable man until he got the job he wanted. And that scene where he's crying and he's clapping outside on the sidewalk, that was the nice one. Like that was like he was finally happy with where he is. But I think when you use the word pursuit, you're always pursuing it. Like you're never going to be 100. I don't think, at least for me, I don't think you're always going to be 100% content or happy with everything you've got going on in your life. That's just my 2 cents. That's why it's pursuit. It's a pursuit of happiness.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So
Okay.
if you're just a negative Nancy like me, right? Uh, like what would you guys do to change like yourselves? I MRT, the drills. Like what would you guys do? Seek professional. I've sought professional help already, so I'm better. But what would you guys do?
Um, One of the biggest things I'm learning right now is thinking more about my thinking. And um, and that sounds like, I don't know, cliche or whatever, but like, for example, kind of, I guess, tying it into like Love and Blender almost. It's just like, let's say, for example, I start seeing this guy and he stops talking to me.
hmm
My first thought, is probably, like, what the hell? And, somehow it tends to be like, I'm not worthy, I'm not beautiful, like, why wouldn't he choose me? This is kind of extreme, but like sometimes that can happen in your mind, like, you think like these worst things or these thoughts in your head, and if you allow your mind to continue that cycle, it only brings you down, it makes you sad. Or, or you can choose to be like, I mean, he's allowed, or he or she is allowed to like make their own decision. Maybe they're not in the right place for a relationship right now. Like I know my worth and I know what I bring to the table. And if that's not what they want to have a part of their life, then I mean, that's on them. Does it suck? I'm sure, especially, if it's someone I was super interested in, but like ultimately you don't, man, you can't cause other people to like feel their feelings, like their thoughts or their mind or like whatever they have going on, like will cause whatever feelings and make the decisions that they do. Does that make any sense? I don't know.
Like you have no control over anybody else's actions but your own.
Right. Or
So
even
you
your
got to,
thoughts. Yeah.
yeah, or your thoughts. So you have to find a way to get those thoughts out of your head and come to a rationalization that maybe it wasn't just you, maybe some external factors happened. And quit. What do they call that? MRT, the thinking traps.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Avoid the
Yeah,
thinking traps.
avoid the thinking traps, and that's a good way to look at it. To quit mind fucking yourself
Yeah,
in a sense.
essentially.
And Rose, you're gonna have to you're gonna have to compromise eventually, Rose. Okay, right? I got a bag of fucking cranberries in my pantry that they compared to some dried up ovaries, if you know what I mean.
Wow. Wow. No, I will not settle.
I'm not saying to settle, but I mean, you know, nature's gonna take its course, Rose. That's all I gotta say.
That is
Just
fine. I
saying.
don't need anyone else to make me happy. No, I'm just kidding. That's a lie. Uh, so that goes back to another thing. Like, and this is kind of like, I don't know. Sometimes I write like poetry and stuff like that. And like one of the things that I wrote is just like, how can you expect someone else to make you happy if you can't even make yourself happy?
Well, yeah, and you don't want to be codependent on somebody for your happiness.
Right.
I agree. Yeah,
Mhm.
but
But like
ultimately, though, like,
what's causing your unhappiness though? Like is it your circumstances? Is it where you are in life? You know what I mean? Like is it, I don't know, I could be living in a brand new house and still be unhappy. I have a roof over my head, I have food on the table, you know what I mean? But I could still
Yeah.
be unhappy. Like what is it that you're trying to seek or like achieve, or like are you always chasing this high of, well, if I have this and then I'll be happy, you know what I mean? At some point you have to realize that you can't keep doing
Yeah.
that because then you'll just never be satisfied.
Yeah, you're right. No,
Ali.
you're right.
Just
Yeah, Ollie. I mean,
kidding.
I'm the same way. I'm never satisfied. I'll be happy, but I'm never fucking satisfied. You know what I mean? Like I think I could always do better than where I am present day. But will that ultimately contribute to my overall happiness? I don't think so. I don't know. Maybe. Who
I
the
mean,
fuck knows?
so I think
But I do want to share that success with somebody though. And I think,
I don't think there's anything wrong with having goals, right? If there's something that you desire or want out of this life, like fucking go for it. You know, you have one life, you got one shot.
what was that, Eminem?
You know, to like pursue it and like chase the fuck out of it. But you can't be afraid to like fail, kind of. And then one thing I just wanted to share this real quick. I was listening to a podcast and I really liked what she had to say. She said the only thing stopping you from getting the life that you want is your willingness to be uncomfortable.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
You have to be comfortable with getting uncomfortable.
Right. So if you're afraid to fail, or if you're afraid to try something new, or to look stupid, or X, Y, and Z, then like you are only stopping yourself from achieving those things that you want.
Hmm.
Um, Another thing that, oh man, let me see if I can find it real quick. That I heard that I really liked as well was a it's called massive action. Oh, actually, I sent this to you before, Rico. Massive action means acting consistently until you get what you want, no matter what.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. That's where we were talking about the cranberries, right? It's massive. Sometimes that massive action is in competition with biology. So, but
Listen, worst comes
listen,
to worst, I can adopt some kids. It's fine.
see, but that's no, you don't want to do that. I mean, you can, but come on now, let's
I
be real.
mean, I
That
do want little rosies running around, but if that's not in the
exactly.
cards for me, I'm not gonna like be upset about it. Like ultimately, like I'm not gonna let it get me down. I'm gonna be optimistic about it.
Okay. All right, I'll take that. I'll take that.
There you go.
But I will say, that shit's crazy how each of us has our own, like, each human being has our own, like, definition of what we consider what happiness is,
Hmm.
right? Like, it's fucking crazy. Like, we
Yeah.
can chalk it up to materialistic ideas. We could chalk it up to past experiences. We could chalk it up to family, whatever. Like, it's fluid, man. Happiness is fluid
Yeah.
to each individual person.
Yeah.
Oh, you
So
got some more nuggets of wisdom for us?
yeah, yeah. Um, what I believe that needs to change for me, right, is to develop like a lot of gratitude and gratefulness for where I'm at already. I think that's where it will start, and start looking like the things that I have, the people I have, the things I have, and be grateful for it. I think that's where it will start, and that's where I will start finding that happiness. I just gotta figure out like what is happiness for me, because like she said, one day the money's gonna run out and then I'm just gonna be left there, nothing to chase, nothing to feel anymore, nothing to like buy anymore, you know. So I'm on my way, I would say, like trying to figure out. So far made like 5% progress, but yeah, I'm there, I'm getting there. So I feel like I would have to start by like developing the gratitude and turning down that greed notch a lot, by like a lot. Cause yeah, I want like the top best thing. I was discussing the other day, like, hey, like, you could take a trip to moon, and I was like, for real? And I started looking up the prices. Can you guys believe you can go to moon and you can come back for only 450K?
Listen, that's some fucking rich that's such a rich person thing to say. It's it's like it's like hey, come back down to earth, Ollie, okay?
I just want to
It's
go to
such,
I mean,
space.
that's such a
I
rich
figured
person
it'd
thing to
probably be a
say.
lot more. That's
You
like,
see? You see?
yeah.
Right. I get it. But what average $37,000 a year person's going to be like, God damn, I need to take a trip to the moon. What average income person is thinking, I got to save up for that trip to the moon? That $450,000 to the trip to the moon will buy them a decent sized house in Texas.
Hmm, I
that's
guess.
what I said. That's like such a rich person thing to say.
I guess. I'm sorry.
No, you don't have to apologize. It's just a joke, but
Yeah,
it's
so
true.
it's yeah. And then looking back to there, like I just realized, and then my neighbor was talking to me like, man, I really want to like make a trip to California to see my grandmother, this, that. And now it just like set it in for me, like, dang. And I'm over here talking about going to the moon. Like, no, 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 no. So yeah. So I guess I need to like turn down the greeter notch, a bit, and then start being more grateful and go from there. Um, Real quick for our listeners out there, right? There is this thing called 3 A's of happiness. So if you're ever feeling like, like, damn, my life sucks, I'm unlucky, I'm stubbing all my 10 toes, this is BS.
It's a
Real
bad
quick,
day.
think of these 3 A's, you know, achievement, affection, and acceptance. Okay. Achievement, like, so, okay, like, if you're giving the scenario, like, oh, dang, I'm stubbing my toes, this bad, right? Think of what
Yeah.
you accomplished today. Hey, at least I got out of the bed to go where I need to go, like, at least I didn't just lay there all day, wasted all my time. And, I'm in the process of moving, probably like making some moves, hopefully money moves, and then you stub your toe, right? So
Yeah.
think of achievement, affection, right? If you stub your toe, there's somebody out there, your cat, for Miss Rose, for
Thank you.
Rico.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's way to call me out.
exactly.
That's why I'm laughing.
Rico, you have your son, or you have people around you that will show you affection, like, oh, it's okay, don't worry, it'll get better, whatnot. And then acceptance, like accepting your situation, like, okay, this is where I'm at, this sucks, but guess what? It's gonna be over with someday. Nothing lasts forever. So those are the real quick like 3 A's for our listeners out there. If you're ever feeling down, if you ever feel like, dang, my life sucks, use this 3 A's technique just to, get back onto the track. And no matter how bad you think it is, it can always get worse. Happiness is in your hands. Your happiness is in your hands. Figure out what makes you happy, and yeah, go chase it. Like, if
Yeah.
you know, you know.
Yeah. So that's good. The triple A, it's like the triple A for happiness. So like your car breaks
Uh-huh.
down, you call triple A.
Exactly.
Your
Yeah.
happiness breaks down, you
Mm-hmm.
dig into the triple A for happiness. That's fucking
Okay.
good, man.
Okay.
Damn,
Okay.
Ali's out here dropping bombs,
I
boy.
like it. Dropping that
Dropping
knowledge.
bombs.
Let's get
All
it.
right. I will what needs to change with me? I just need to start finding the silver lining and shit. Like I am so unmoved by things, it's ridiculous. Like I could have overwhelming success in everything that I do, and I'll just be like, oh, okay. How can I do it better? I'm never like, oh my God, we did this. We're fucking great. We're so fucking awesome. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, good shit. Let me try to fucking figure out how to improve it. I don't bask in the moment. I'm just like very, eh, it's okay. So I think I need to start like enjoying things a little bit more than I typically do. When it comes to food though, I'm about it. You know what I mean? But going back to what what's the word I'm looking for? When you were talking about pursuing shit that you want to do that makes you happy, it's taken me 18 years to realize that, right? Like, yes, I was a fucking idiot teenager growing up and I had to join the army. But if I had listened to what I wanted to do and pursued what I wanted to pursue, because of that fear of failure, I chose to join the army because it was guaranteed, right? Not saying that I regret joining the army by any stretch of the imagination. It has taught me a lot of things in my life. But you two know me. I'm a very creative person. Like, I am super creative, and it's taken me 18 years. No, not 18 years.
18 years.
17?
Found out it wasn't his. I'm sorry. I can't turn it off.
Nah, I ain't saying she a gold digger. Anyways, that's a different episode. But it's taken me 17 years to actually pursue what I wanted to pursue, which is going to culinary school, going against the grain of what everybody else thinks I should do and pursue a career that has like a guaranteed money. Like, you'll make X amount of money for if you're going to go be a fucking accountant or some computer programming bullshit, right? I'm like, nah, I'm not going to fucking do that. I'm taking a chance and I'm going to culinary school to pursue what makes me happy, and that's cooking, right? Like, if you see me in the kitchen cooking, I'm in a whole fucking different world. I'm like happy.
I've seen your Instagram posts.
I'm fucking happy when I'm in the kitchen, right? And I am okay with taking that risk to get my degree, my associate's degree for it, and getting my culinary certificate and going out into the real world when I retire and taking that chance and risking it, because that is ultimately what I want to do. And I don't want to do what other people are going to be telling me what I need to do to be successful. Just like when we started this podcast, I was like, I like talking about shit. I like teaching or not teaching or airing out like my past mistakes so other people can hear it and hopefully use that as a tool to learn from it. It's a chance. It's a risk I'm taking by putting myself out there. And it's taken me this long to do it. You know what I mean? So I just think if there's something you really truly want to do in your life and other people are telling you how to do it, and you know one thing you're good at, and you know that that's what you want to pursue, take that fucking chance and pursue it. Because when you listen to other people to tell you what to do and how to live your life, you're going to be absolutely fucking miserable. Not saying that I'm miserable right now, but I wonder where I could be now if I had taken that risk when I graduated high school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I can't bank on the what ifs. I'm in the now, and I'm in culinary school, and we'll see how that goes. But I think on that note, we are at 1 hour and 12 minutes. I think it's a good way to wrap this shit up. This was a good discussion, but thank you, Rose, for joining us. It's always a pleasure.
As always.
I love talking shit to you. So that's been The Pursuit of Happiness. Things will be different. We will catch you next week. Bye.
Peace.
Bye.
Bloop. Hey, everybody. That was Pursuit of Happiness. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Special thanks to Rose for being an absolute gem on this episode. Be sure to give us a follow on Instagram at thingswillbe_different. Be sure to follow us on Spotify, on your favorite streaming service. If you go to our Instagram, our link is in our bio for your favorite streaming service. And as always, Ollie and I here at Things Will Be Different, thank you for listening. Have a good one.